The single most common question that every preneur asks is, how can I stop other people from copying my product or my business? In this video, I'll talk you through the ways that you can stop other people copying your product, but also some other ways that you can ensure that you have a successful product and a long-term sustainable business. So much so that you won't care if other people copy you. In fact, you'll be glad when they do. The first way that you can stop other people copying your product is, if you have that type of product, you can take out a patent, a trademark, or you can do copywriting or non-disclosure agreements. So this will absolutely definitely stop other people copying you. But you need to do your research and you need to get professional advice about it. And just remember, not all patents are recognised in all countries, so it may not always be worth the effort. And just remember, even if you have one of these instruments in place, people can still take your idea and make it better and build on it and improve it and add more value. The second way you can stop people from copying your product or your business is just by not telling anyone. If nobody knows about it, nobody can copy it. But if nobody knows about it, then you probably haven't executed it and you're probably not making any money, so it kind of defeats the purpose. A lot of really great ideas have died from people trying to protect them. The third way you can stop people from copying your product, and by far the only real option available, is by having an idea that no one wants to copy. So if none of those options appeal to you, there are some other things you can do to make sure your product is out there and selling and you're realizing the gains, but you're not so worried about people stealing your idea. So the first thing you need to do is reflect on your mindset. It's quite possible, if you're my age or older, that you remember very keenly a world where there was no online marketplace, there was no internet. And if you had a business or a product that you were selling, you were very much concerned with your local geographical area. So your customer base was very limited, in which case you were very concerned if someone else was selling what you were selling. This mindset doesn't transfer to the online world. With 7 billion people in the world, not only is it impossible that one person should have an idea and no one else, we also don't really need to worry so much about having all the customers to ourselves. You absolutely can be selling something very similar or the same as someone else in the world and still make a lot of money. This is just because of the sheer numbers of people in the world, and we haven't quite managed to grasp this. When I was making and selling ball cushions, the big mass retailers got on board too. I didn't really have to worry about this because we weren't competing for the same customers. The people who were buying a $35 ball cushion from Adairs were not the same people buying from me. Another mindset issue is around scarcity. So we feel like good ideas are hard to come by and that there's not enough money to go around and that people are out to get us. So this is another thing that can work against you. So if you have a great idea, it's important to work on getting it out there as quickly as you can. Just start executing it. Good ideas are actually really common, but people who follow through with them are not. In actual fact, if your idea is really, really good, you'll probably find it hard to convince other people that it's a good idea too. People will look to see that it's successful and that there's a large known market before copying you. So it's not about being the only person who has the idea, it's about executing it and doing it first. The other thing you need to do after that is to keep going and keep making your product or service or offering better. Keep learning what works and what doesn't, and build in that direction. You need to keep innovating and finding ways to provide value to your customers so you can stay in front of the competition. TikTok has something like 50 copies, but they're still ahead because they got there first and they're doing it better than anyone else. It's also really helpful if you have some kind of unfair advantage. So maybe you have 10 years of experience in a very unusual field, or maybe it's taken you 2 years to learn how to do a particular thing. Or you might have some rare trade skill or a really hard to get piece of machinery. All these things are a bit like when you have a franchise and you buy a particular sales area. They give you that unfair advantage that make it hard for competition to keep up. It's actually normal for ideas to be stolen in business. So don't be so worried about people copying you. In fact, if you are being copied, it's a sign that you're doing something good. And you should keep going. Thank you so much for watching. I'm launching a newsletter soon, so you can subscribe below and you'll immediately receive a PDF, which is my free guide to 7 essentials for creating wildly successful products.